Hey, what's going on, guys? Donkey here, and welcome back to Dear Esther, the Landmark Edition. So, I did a little digging around because I was. Hold on a second. There we go. I'd pause. I did a little digging around because I was a little bothered by the fact that when we first started the game, they kind of provide somewhat open paths, but it's really more linear. And obviously, what ended up happening in my case was after you get to the point of entering this area that we're in now, and you go past the graveyard of ships that's down in the cove, the bayou. That's actually the next level. So that area to where after what I called Stonehenge, and we dropped off down the ledge in between like a ravine area, that started a new level. So when I stopped the game last time, and I believe we were standing pretty close to this area, it tells you is that if you don't complete the chapter, and since there are four of them, it restarts the chapter. So basically, I had to walk all the way back here from the beginning, um, from that area. It wasn't that big of a deal, but that's just something to note if you guys are going to play the game. That if you don't finish each chapter, and I don't know how it's set up to where if they're all set up, if you drop off a ledge or go through a gate or however this game's developed, that it starts that next area, and then it's a good at that point that's a good place to stop. Unfortunately, I couldn't go back to the area where the cave was at the beginning, so I did a little digging on that and found out that that it didn't really progress through. I was thinking maybe that progressed through to a different area. You actually go in the cave and there's some like markings, and I saw some cool alien looking shit that was in there. So anyway, didn't miss a whole lot, but something that I wouldn't mind doing a live stream on this game, and then because it's not that long from what I've understand, it really the length of it's predicated on how much time you spend wandering around, and also the fact that when you do wander around, the random voices, a story it gets told. The landmark edition, from what I understand, is if I were to check off the little box, I think I saw that at the beginning when we first started doing the video for this. When you check that off, basically it's director's commentary. And I did watch a little of a video on YouTube. It was kind of interesting. They explain a lot about the game and why they did what they did or why they added certain features in the game. So if I do a live stream, I'll probably turn on the director's commentary and then let them go through that because it is interesting to see, like when we were on the beach, what the thought process was behind adding in that little design on the beach. So anyway, with that said, we're going to go ahead and continue on with the game, but I wanted to kind of explain, what I did find out because I absolutely knew nothing about this game other than the fact that it's created by the Chinese Room, and it's a walking simulator. So with that said, let's get back into it. Now I don't even know what way is the right way
Three
for.
cormorants seen at dusk. They did not land. This house built of stone, built by a long-dead shepherd. Contents: my camp bed, a stove, a table, chairs, my clothes, my books. The caves that score out the belly of this island, leaving it famished. My limbs and belly famished. This skin, these organs, this failing eyesight. When the battery runs out in my torch, I will descend into the caves and follow only the phosphorescence home.
I think that's what was in the cave at the beginning that I saw was phosphorescence. There are Easter eggs in the game. I do know that. I think I mentioned that before. It's just a matter of finding them. They are very well hidden. And what part of the director's commentary that I did listen to, they do talk about the fact that they added that in. They did it on purpose because they wanted people that like to. That's cool. They wanted people that like to explore to be able to get rewarded for that, and that's just really, really neat. Yeah, it's really cool. Looks like some more paint. But yeah, apparently these Easter eggs, these items are very well hidden. So I don't think we went into this building over here. And I think that we were able to go off the side of the cliff over there. I don't know. We're going to try it and find out. The hell is this? Looks like some burned rubbish. You know, all these little signs remind me of alien markings. I gotta say, for a game that's, what, 5 years old now? I think this came out in 2012. Still looks great. It sounds great. Go back over in this area. Oh, what's this? What was that? This looks like a grave of some kind. Huh. That's neat. That's exactly what that is. That's a grave. But it's interesting because you're just kind of free to roam around in the game at your leisure and explore and check things out. And then if you come across certain spots in the game, the commentary of the story kicks in and it kind of goes into detail as to what transpired. I still kind of wonder if we're dead and we're stuck on this island. Kind of like Lost. Okay, so I'm assuming down is the only way to go. So we can't go back up that way. A lot of these large rocks kind of block our way. And my assumption is this is probably the path that I saw. What's over here? Death? Yeah, it looks like the path that I saw to the beach where we could drop off the cliff. And something else I did find that I thought was really interesting is that they did put trophies in the game for like falling off the cliff. I had no idea, and I didn't even know I had one because I had my notifications turned off. And then I was reading up and on the game, and it was like, oh yeah, the developers put in a trophy. So if you you decide to take a plunge, then you get a trophy for it.
Jakobson's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
Interesting. The other thing, as far as the trophies are concerned, you do get a trophy for killing yourself by drowning. So at the beginning of the game, when I was like, hey, I wonder if we can go into the water and drown, or what will it do? And it does. Obviously, they put in that ability to let you do that. So I thought that was kind of cool.
They found Jakobson in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
I don't think we can go over there. Maybe around to the other side. I don't know why they would let us come down here. What's this? Oh! That's it. That's it. That is the urn. So if you find, oh my God, I was like, why are they letting us come down here? You find these urns, and they're in the game. You can see how the ashes blew away. That's one of the Easter eggs. I'm so excited. That is so cool. I didn't really look up like where they were at. I have no clue because I like finding that stuff on my own. So that is so wicked. We actually found one. Very cool. All right, so I'm assuming we're still quote unquote in the bayou in the game. I'm not really sure. I'll probably just label the videos like part 1, part 2, and then discuss in the description what areas that we went through. Just because I have no idea how the game is segmented up or split up. But I really do think that the director's commentary, at least from the little bit that I heard, would be very interesting, I feel, for some folks out there that would like to hear the thought process. I bet you this is the caves up here, or these are the caves. Just the thought process behind the developers and how they came up with the game and why they came up with it and why they implemented certain features in the game and what, again, their thought process was. What's going on here? I mean, it's like you got trash and stuff. But initially I wanted to play the game through without any spoilers because I think the whole director's commentary is meant for after you play through the game. That way, at least I can develop my own opinion of what's happened. So, I'm not sure if this is a boat or, I mean, it looks like a fence, but it also, if you look at it from this perspective here, kind of reminds me of the hull of a ship or a boat. And again, I love testing games to kind of figure out what you can and can't do, what the developer will allow you to do. The hell was that noise? Yeah, see, that looks like a mast. What I've been trying to do is kind of go into some of these games, the independent games, the indie games, and just kind of keep an open mind when playing them, because you never know.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
So it sounds like, you know, obviously he hurt himself. Let me go back here and take a look and see if there's anything of interest. But yeah, as far as the indie games go, I'm trying to just kind of keep an... Oh, we're going into the caves. Just keep an open mind when playing them, because you can come across some that are really good. I mean, not all of them are good, but you can. It's kind of spooky. Am I supposed to be going back this way? You definitely can come across some that are really, really good. And I'm not really sure what is going on here. It's like you can hear... It's like blowing into a jug. It's kind of cool. You hear that. I was trying to get up on this rock to see if we can get over, but it will not allow me to. Yeah, it's like blowing in a jug. You can hear the wind creating the noise in the ravine. It's kind of mystifying. So obviously really nothing back here unless I just totally missed something. Seemed like the noise is really, like, yeah, a lot louder here. I don't know, it's like listening to it, I don't know, it's weird. It's like, gives me chills. Anyway, all right, we'll go ahead and progress out of this area and move on to the next. That is so cool. I love the little details like that. It's really neat. Looks like the caves that we're about to enter. Before we go in there, I'm going to check out on this beach real quick. Make sure there's nothing hidden. It does not look like we can really progress. So, all right, let's do this. Makes me wonder what's in these caves. This is really cool. Can we go up the side here, maybe? Or is it going to push me off? It's going to push me off into... Alright, so obviously that's going to be the next chapter. Interesting. This looks like I just gotten another trophy. Huh. So I think what we're going to do, because I'd like...
Jakobson crawl this far. Can I identify the scratches his nails ruined into the rocks? Am I following him cell for cell, inch for inch? Why did he turn back on himself and not carry through to the ascent?
Oh, wow. I mean, look at the graphics in here. This is absolutely gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and end the video here. I want to kind of keep it more or less consistent, like with each chapter. So we'll do a video per chapter. Since we've just entered the caves, I'm assuming this is the next chapter, which would be chapter 3. So anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video and at least a little explanation as to what was going on and what I discovered, and you've enjoyed the journey that we've been on so far with Dear Esther. So if you guys will tune in on the next one, we're going to start right back up on the next video right here. If you like the content, hit that like button for me. Feel free to leave some comments in the comments section below. I do like answering those. If you have questions or maybe point out something that I might have missed in the game, I can go back and take a look at it. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. Until next time, you guys, peace out.